So, welcome back everybody. This is the ESEA ESL Pro League matchup between Mousesports and Titan. I am the Boo from Germany. You can follow me on Twitter. Of course, you can find all links with !social. If you want to drop me a private message, just fire away on Twitch. I'm always there for you. So other than that, we are still waiting for Titan to show up. They just finished their matchup with Envious. And let's take a quick peek on how that game panned out. It actually split maps 1-1. Titan and Envious separating each other with a 19-16 in favor of Envious on the first map. Actually, overtime on Dust too. So Titan is definitely on point today on this very map that we will see against Mousesports. I already said that I favor Titan in this matchup today, even though I would have put my money on Mousesports considering the odds. Still, Titan seems to have gotten themselves into a good role, at least on Dust 2. Other than that, they won the second map cash with a 16-4 scoreline. So I think the motivation and, you know, the spirit in Titan is very, very high today, considering their very good result against Envious, their domestic, you know, enemy, so to speak. So, yeah, there is actually Maniac has connected already, so let's kick this off. Obviously, it's a best of one. We know the map. It is going to be Dust 2, a map that Mousesports really likes to play. But the same kind of goes for Titan. They have a very strong AWP player on both sides. I still think that Kenny is a little better than Chris J, but we could see a few nice duels between the two players. Then, of course, you know, we've got Titan with Apex, who is kind of inconsistent, but if he gets himself into the mood, if he gets rolling, he will probably stomp Mousesports, no matter how well they play. I don't think there's actually any stopping Titan if Kenny S and Apex perform. But that's not actual rocket science, anything, or everybody should know those facts. Now, something that you might not know is that the two teams actually played the map almost as often as each other. I mean, Mousesports played it 15 times and Titan played them 14 times. Mousesports has a better record on the map. They have 9 wins and 6 losses. Titan has 4 wins and 10 losses. But now let's compare against which teams they played, against which teams they lost, and all that. For Mousesports, it's, for example, a loss against Penta. They're, as you know, it's kind of the same with Envious and Titan. It's the same with Penta and Mousesports. And Mousesports lost 16-10 against Penta in the Counter Pit League. I think that Dust 2 is a very strong map for Penta. They actually managed to win against Titan as well, but with a little but the scoreline was a little bit closer with the 16-12. Titan lost against Penta. So, yeah, this kind of tells you that the teams are basically the same skill on Dust 2, at least if they face Penta. Now, Mousesports won against TSM 16-5 in the ESEA Challenge. The same goes, though, for Titan, who won 16-11 against TSM. But then there's a very harsh scoreline, 16-1 in favor of Titan against TSM just a few days back. So I think that, you know, TSM must have some trouble on this too, or probably didn't take those games as serious as they should have. Still, the teams seem to have this same kind of skill on the map. Then Mousesports with 16-11 against Hellraisers, but an overtime loss against Neophyte, basically a tier 3.5 team in the 99 damage arena. So that was a very, very weird performance by Mousesports, and that kind of tells you the story that I'm trying to tell you, that Titan is going to win this game most likely. Another good scoreline for Titan was a 16-14 loss against NIP in the ESEA ESL Pro League. But, you know, those 16-14 games could have gone either way, anytime, any day. Just one clutch less, you know, one 4K less, and this game could have turned the other way and actually ended in favor of Titan. Now, considering that Titan just lost against Envious with a 19-16 scoreline, and the last game between Titan and Envious on Dust 2 ended in the same fashion with a 21-15 scoreline in favor of Envious, I believe that Titan should have the momentum coming from the previous game. Even though they lost it, they now know, okay, we almost took down Envious, yeah? Now we will face Mousesports. We should get this done. On the other side, Mousesports with Gobi have a very strong caller. The same kind of goes for Titan, so the teams can be compared really nicely in my opinion. You kind of have the same setup of players, a strong in-game leader, a good AWP player. You have a few players that can step it up. For example, Apex and Nex, I already compared them. And then you have those players that at random moments go insanely huge. For example, Dennis and Speedy for Mousesports, and Maniac and RPK with, for example, strong pistol rounds. RPK can shift the game around. The same goes for Maniac if he holds a bomb site on his own and suddenly picks up 3 kills in a row. The other team kind of feels that, and they need to adjust themselves to that. So I'm really curious to see those two teams play on this very map. As I already said, perfect map for Kenny S to just roam free, take down anyone he sees, basically. If he doesn't get stopped by Mousesports, I don't see the Germans get too many rounds against Titan. So this is now my idea about the game. I hope you agree, even though it doesn't matter to me, because I'm pretty firm that my opinion is right anyway. No, I'm not one of those guys on the analyst desk. I just do this out of joy, you know. Most non-full-time streamers don't even do that. So I just try to give you a rough overview about the team's performances and who could not perform today. So we get more and more Titan players on the server, so let's get ourselves ready. With a small advertisement break, we will be back with the matchup between Titan and Mousesports. Stay tuned, guys.
Counter-terrorists win.
So, while the advertisements run, let's give you some additional information that's kind of secret, you know. Oh, Mojo for Life, can you please drop me a private message? Because I don't know them by heart. I can't show them to you right now, and I don't have them in moobot right now because I had to reset my whole moobot, and East Bay Punk, who do you think I'm rooting for? That's the question, because I'm actually not rooting for any team. In my opinion, Titan will win this. My heart belongs to Mousesports, though. So some additional information about the likelihood of a team winning the round by first fragging, for example, something really cool provided by hltv.org, the news site that you will probably know already, and I hope that you're browsing that quite often. Even though the forum section is a little bit toxic, you have to cope with that in any internet website, in my opinion. The stats section, though, is impeccable, and there's nothing else like that in the internet for any game, in my opinion. It's the best out there. So we have 70% for Mousesports after getting the first kill. If they lose the first battle, the likelihood of winning the round is only down to 32%, basically 33%. So they still manage to win every third round, even if they lose the first battle. Their CT win percentage is at 52, so they are almost 50-50, which is not too, you know, not normal. Well, it's not unnormal, but it is definitely not the case for many teams. For example, Titan have a CT win percentage of 56, which is quite a little bit bigger compared to the Germans. So Titan seems to be strong on the CT side. If they will start on the CT side, it seems to be a good start for them. And Mousesports shouldn't worry too much about any side. Doesn't matter for them. Especially as Goppy actually started on the terrorist side. If they won the 9th round, Mousesports decided to start on the terrorist side at the start when Goppy started calling for them. Now they have swung back and they realize that the CT side is actually a little easier on the SU. Even though it's still a 50-50 map, most teams feel more relaxed on the CT side because you can actually just play your default. You don't have to play the initiative. You don't have to get the early frag. You can hang back and you can easily have some aggressive play styles as well with B tunnels and a middle push, for example. Now, Titan only has a 71% conversion percentage on the first frag, so it is a tiny bit lower. But if they lose the first player, their likelihood of winning a round is down to 25%. So it's only 1/4 compared to the 1/3 of Mousesports. Might be the case that, you know, Titan rely on Kenny S to open up rounds sometimes, and they have a very strong opening fragger in the form of Apex. So maybe Titan just don't focus too much on those situations. So I think that, yeah, as I said before, it seems to be a 50-50 match, but I would favor Titan, especially with their earlier performance against Envious, which I will now take a closer look at. Let's check this out. Do we have the stats already? No. But Titan and Envious faced off 8 days ago on the SU already. And Kenny S was the second best fragger, or actually the best fragger with 30 frags against Envious. So what I just said applies. If he's on fire, there's almost no stopping Titan anymore. Even if you're Envious, which is a very strong team, you know that already. Even though they are kind of up in the air right now, it's hard to place Envious on a, you know, they are definitely in the top 5 still, but on which exact position it's kind of hard. They are not the first, not the second, but you know, they are somewhere in between, probably the 3rd, but they yeah, that's just, it's kind of hard to judge all those teams on their performances right now because there are so many matches going on, so many lands, some teams skip lands and all that. Now we have the 9th round on the screen right now. Let's see how this pans out. As I said already, Titan will probably like to win the 9th round. Mousesports don't actually need to worry too much if they lose it. And the same kind of goes for Titan as well, but still, they are more CT-sided compared to the Germans. Now that seems to be a German 9th round. But let's check out those stats. So Titan took Envious to 2 overtimes basically in 2 matches already on the SU. And I think they will win it. Let's give it a number on top of that. I think they will win 16-11 against Mousesports. Now let's see if Mousesports decides to start on the CT or terrorist side. They take their time. Wow, Goppy really slow making up his mind today. And it seems like Mousesports will stay. So I didn't lie when I said that Goppy actually likes to start on the terrorist side, even though he didn't do that in every single match. He doesn't necessarily shy away from that. So let's get this going. Titan on the CT side against Mousesports from Germany in the ESL ESEA Pro League. You might know that the game doesn't matter too much for Mousesports anymore. They are sitting in the 3rd last place with, I think, 16 points, something like that. Now CTs are opening up with an aggressive push down into a long and a short already, and next catches Apex off guard. The first frag in favor of the Germans, now starting off quite nicely. The CTs need to focus on middle right now. RPK is covering that, and he is joined by Kenny S on the B bomb side. It's Maniac and Existence on the A bomb side. The terrorists now hang back a little bit. They know that the CTs need to go for some information, and they send Kenny S into the B tunnels, and he spotted one over there, but he doesn't know that Nex has taken that dark corner, and Nex with a second frag onto Kenny S. Good job by Titan to get some information, but they opted to get the frag, obviously. Now RPK is down to 16 HP. He has the defuse kit, so he tries to get that onto the B bomb site while Nex covers his teammates on the B push. The terrorists are still not committed yet, and Existence catches that chance, takes out two. Dennis and Nex are taken out. The smoke is up though. Existence can't do too much about the push anymore, but there's somebody coming in from middle. It is Maniac to chime in. Speedy though hoses him down with the Glock, and at the same time Chris J and God B managed to take out RPK and Existence in the B and middle. So 1-0, but Titan had a very good shot at winning this round back, especially as Existence stepped it up with those two frags in middle. Could have turned out quite differently if Maniac weren't spotted that early by Speedy, for example. If he had a little, you know, those 2 seconds make the difference sometimes for a win or a loss. Now Mousesports on the buy with 2 Galeers and an AK. The UMP for God B, and Chris J tries to warm up his scope with a scout in the hand. The CTs with some reinvestment. CZ75 for Kenny S, P250, 5.7. Basically every single pistol that is viable to buy on the CTs lineup right now. Existence with the HE and the Deagle. Let's see if he can catch somebody. He's just hanging out on the B platform, watching B tunnels, and that's a perfect gun to do that. As soon as he spots somebody, he's probably dead already. And that would be a great chance to open up the round in favor of Titan. The terrorists, though, they take it slow. They go for the default setup with Dennis covering B tunnels, Speedy covering A long, and the rest of the squad more or less focusing on middle. Now Titan with 3 players committed to the A bomb site. Nobody's necessarily dedicated to middle covering, so now they swing Kenny S back to that to have additional eyes on that, as Mousesports is going for that, just, you know, that foot in the water to test how cold or how hot it is. Next catches Kenny S there without getting too much damage done. 5v3 now in favor of Mousesports as Dennis clinches into the B bomb site. He catches Existence with his back turned towards him. 3 terrorists surviving, and Gobi manages to get his hands on the Galil, so not too much economical damage dealt to the terrorists. On the other side, Titan got themselves 2 frags, so it's not too bad for them. They can still make something happen in the first rifle round. So now it's just Titan trying to hold on to the momentum. They have to get flashbacks from the match against Envious that they took to overtime, and they need to stay focused for this game before Mousesports can run away with the score. And you know, quick pistol round, a rifle round, and suddenly you're down 5-0 on the CT side on a map that you're supposed to get a few rounds early on, or, you know, to get at least 8-9 rounds on the CT side, if not more, depending on how your opponents perform. So it is a crucial factor to win the rifle round now for Titan, as they are setting up in middle to counter Mousesports' move, which isn't working out too well for the Frenchmen. The Germans switched their setup. They headed down into a long, and they got themselves the bomb site without too much resistance. Maniac is already down to 23, RPK down to 31. Kenny doesn't have too much HP to work with either, and the terrorists have a nice and easy bomb plan there. Dennis just touches Maniac, it seems like, and a 1 bullet will close him out. 5v4 in favor of the terrorists. The CTs just tried to get 1 weapon out of the hands of the terrorists and maybe carry that to the next round to save themselves some money, and Dennis gets disposed of by Kenny S in the end. Chris J is already there to reinforce the position, and the same goes now for Gobi and Chris J, as Chris J perished. Gobi took over and denied the CTs to get their hands on a weapon, but they at least got themselves a few more frags, which equals now 6 frags in 3 rounds for Titan, and the terrorists building up their momentum to not too big of a bank account, you know, that those few frags, they might seem unimportant to you, but they are actually important in the long run of this matchup. Now Titan with the first AWP. Kenny S goes for the scope without any armor. On the other side, we have Chris J already picking up all the nades and the scope. Mousesports once again headed towards middle, and this time they will execute a little faster. They catch Kenny S completely blinded. There's no chance for him, but Apex is able to reply through the smoke onto next, and quickly Mousesports will just draw back from middle. That one frag told them that there is something going on in the B bomb side. They didn't want to overextend into middle and got caught in the crossfire. So now they are swinging back to A short with Dennis focusing on A long up against Apex and Maniac. And that's those situations that Apex is going to be crucial for Titan. If he steps it up and gets a few quick frags on the Mousesports squad that are about to execute on the A bomb side, it is going to crush the momentum for the Germans. Now the execution is imminent. Good Molotov cocktail to flush out the A platform. There's nobody around, so now they go for another. And there is Apex stepping out of his hiding position. Copy disposes him with a headshot, makes it a 4v3 already. The CTs seem to be committed to that retake. RPK is close by already. Let's see if he can pick up any more frags. No, he doesn't. Existence now pulls back. He realized that there's no chance at all. Maniac waited all this time to prepare for a backstab that could have gone, that could have gone up from A long. He prepared for Dennis basically and just stayed in his position, didn't support his teammates. So that play by Dennis to make his presence known on A long and keep Maniac at double doors actually got that round, or made that round a little bit easier for Mousesports. Now Maniac is able to hold on to this rifle, at least some comfort for Titan, but Mousesports win the first rifle round, and now they only lost one player, so the economical damage is very, very low on them. They will be able to buy and build up their momentum quite nicely in this one, as Titan, on top of losing this first rifle round, they are not able to rebuy anything. Titan has to rely on Maniac to step it up in this one and pick up a few quick frags and have his teammates pick up those rifles and make something work on top of that. Right now it seems like Mousesports is going for that very slow build up. They really like those slow rounds, and they decide to once again hold on to the default positions and send Dennis into middle to peek out there, as Apex catches a good nade. Down to 38 HP he goes, and that's the sign for Titan to retreat. They leave Apex behind and focus on the A bomb side and onto middle. So he's actually now alone with his 5-7. Seems like Titan know that there is no push coming. That nade was just there to keep their backs clean in this early situation in the round. Now the Germans swinging over to the B bomb site. The CTs catch that movement quite nicely. They have Maniac in middle, and he has that right gun for the right position, it seems like, but the terrorists will now get more players into B tunnels, and they will actually not get anyone through middle, which allows the CTs to get more bodies into middle and push them into lower B tunnels. Dennis disposes of Existence to just start off this B bomb site attack by Mousesports, but now they lose one to RPK. Maniac answers back, but Copy and Speedy will quickly get this round in the favor of Mousesports, and it was a 1v3 for Maniac. Not too much that he could have done against about the outcome of this round. It's picked off by Chris J with the AWP, and as I said, you look away for 1 second and suddenly it's 5-0 in favor of the terrorist squad. Now Titan needs to put a stop to that, and they decide to go for the double scope. Reminds me of the old Counter-Strike Source days. Existence with the scope again. Kenny S, obviously the other AWP player for the CTs right now. Kenny S caught a glimpse of Chris J in the spawn. He is really committed to that frag, and he does pick it up. Chris J seems to be, well, why did he peek there? He knows that he's facing off against one of the, if not the second or even strongest AWP player in the world, and it seems to be a little bit too cocky to face off against him a second time after he already knew that there was somebody down below. Now A long is traded, 2 for 2, tit for tat it goes. Apex with another good shot onto God B, closing down this terrorist push on A long. Apex with another one, and Apex with the 4th kill of the round against Speedy and Nex, holding on to the A platform against the Mousesports push. That just slowly but surely lost all the momentum, and they were still on A long, but they couldn't really get anything going over there, so it was easy pickings for Apex. They were all standing in the open. Titan finally with the first round on the board. Now Mousesports getting into some trouble. If they want to extend their buy streak, they need to pick up this round, and it's going to be a really hard one. Chris J once again facing off against the 2 AWPs on the CTs, and he picks off Existence. Doesn't know that Kenny S slipped through his fingers though. God B is prepared for that. God B just dancing around. Kenny S is moving forward and missing that shot. Now tagging God B down to 10 HP, but still the AK does the trick for the German in-game leader. Speedy now holds down the CT's push on A long, and Titan have lost 2 crucial players in their lineup. Now they need to make it happen with those 3 rifles that they still have in their hands, while Mousesports is slowing down once again. They still have 1 minute on the clock, a lot of time to work with for the terrorists, and they commit to a shot. Apex putting down some good damage. Maniac is able to capitalize on top of that. He picks off 2 before being shut down by Chris J. Now it's a 1v3, and RPK needs to think about which position he wants to take to, well, he seems to be committed to that retake, and he actually wants to go for it. He catches Speedy, but the AK is a little bit quicker in the hands of the German. This time RPK can't make it. Mousesports back in the lead with 5 rounds between them and the Frenchman, just restoring their 5-round lead against them. 6-1 now in favor of the German squad, and Titan back on a save, so the economy is crushed successfully by the Germans. Let's see if Chris J is able to pick up a few players crossing. There he goes, first one onto RPK, weakening the B bomb site like that. Could actually initiate a very quick terrorist push, but you know, Mousesports wasn't prepared for that quick push and for that quick kill, so they are still in their default positions. Chris J just holding on to middle, and Titan themselves preparing for a B push. They have dragged 3 players, 1 into middle and 2 over to the B bomb site, so they actually thought about the possibility of a Mousesports push into the B bomb site really quickly, trying to capitalize on that first frag. But Mousesports is aware of the economy on the CT side, so they are playing it really slow, and they just don't want to give up any rifles, any economy, anything that Titan could use to spark their flame again. Mousesports wants to shut them down right now. Now Titan rotating Maniac over to the B bomb site, and Nex is there to hold on to B tunnels. Now he needs to watch out to not run into some trouble, but the CTs don't have anyone around to intercept him basically, so he just keeps hold on to middle, while Apex is the only CT in CT spawn. Nex just getting those easy 2 frags against Kenny S and Existence, I believe it was. Apex goes down to Speedy in CT spawn, and there is Nex with a triple kill. Not, you know, not too hard to get those 3 frags. 7-1 though in favor of Mousesports. Titan back on a bye round. Let's see who's most responsible for that lead for Mousesports. It's 9 frags for Nex, 8 for Chris J. So the 2 top performers that I already mentioned, they are performing right now. For Titan, it is Apex being on fire, but Kenny S only 2 frags in 8 rounds, something that we barely see from him. But he didn't get his hands on the AWP too much, so he's actually excused for that. He can still step it up in those rounds in this half, or even in the second half. Mousesports now once again on their default build-up. They have 2 players over at long, 2 in B tunnels, and Chris J watching the middle, while the CTs have Apex in middle, 2 over at B and 2 at A. The Frenchmen now rotate Apex away from middle, which could be the wrong call right now. Mousesports just inching forward into middle, trying to get some information over there. And now they're backing off again, smoking off middle. Going for the A split actually could be a push into CT spawn. They could have sent one into CT spawn, but Dennis and Nex will trade the frags. RPK and Maniac though. Maniac with the heads up play, pushing into the back of the terrace, slowing down that push. Now it's a 3v3. The CTs need to rely on Kenny S to hold on to the to the A bomb site as the bomb gets planted. Kenny S is close by already, and the terrorists don't know that yet. Kenny S with an easy frag onto Gobi as next puts down Maniac. It's a 2v2 again. Chris Jake from short takes out Kenny S. And yeah, well, no, I won't. Chris Jake with the headshot onto Existence, making it an 8-1 scoreline, but that was actually going 1-for-1 actually. Titan had a very good shot at getting this round done. Maniac could have done more on his backstep against the Germans, in my opinion. But he picked up that one frag, slowed down the push, and then he didn't get into A long anymore. He should have gotten back onto the A bomb side. I think that Titan weren't really sure where Mousesports is headed at until Kenny has spotted them on the A platform. So now it's 7 round in the lead for Mousesports. Speedy running into Maniac on A long. That nade should take the majority off of his HP. And Maniac realizes that he's not going to win that fight anytime soon. Backing off into pit, just resetting his position, trying to let some terrorists run into his crosshair if they want to go to A long. But that's not the case right now. Next is opening up B with 2 easy frags against RPK and Existence, just casually clicking away. Now CTs are on the rotation already, back towards the B bomb site. They have 2 players on short. Speedy holds on to that, and he has spotted Apex there. Good headshot by Speedy. And now Mousesports just need to hold on to the planted bomb as Next gets himself another one. Kenny S actually gets himself the frag onto Speedy. He might get some more kills. Dennis goes down, but then it's Chris J running into his enemy AWP player with the Tech 9, and that's obviously wrong timing for Kenny S as he was about to pick up that AK that was on the floor. Chris J just kind of body checked him to death. Now Titan switching up their setup again. Everything they tried didn't yield the successful result that they were hoping for, so now they're going for 2 AWPs and 1 auto scope in the hands of Maniac. Chris J once again hitting that tag onto RPK, crossing over to the B bomb site. That would, personally, it would piss me off if I was RPK in that situation, being taken out once and being tagged another time. It's really putting a strain to your mental composure. Apex and Chris J trading frags in middle basically. Apex with the aggressive play on A short, now falling back. The CTs are very low on HP already. Apex down to 46, and RPK, as I said, is tagged on the B bomb site, so he's just holding on to a more defensive angle, trying to peek into middle from the doors, and is able to fall back as soon as he spots some action, getting into that direction basically, as Mousesports are still not committed to any bomb site. It seems like they want to go to A, but they still have all the openings. The bomb could easily rotate towards B, and that seems to be the case right now as Existing catches off Next mid-air basically on middle. Maniac now holding on to A shot. Good shot onto Gobi, just holding on to his auto scope. It is really important for the economy for Titan, and picking up that frag on top of that is even more so important. Speedy and Chris J now up against 4 CTs. Even though 2 of them are really low on HP, it's still going to be a huge task for the 2 Germans, or actually the Dutch player and the German. Maniac with that auto scope, picking off Speedy with a straight headshot. Good job by Maniac, and Apex with those 2 kills. They win the round for Titan and give them some hope back. So we still have 4 rounds to go in this half. They could easily make it 9-6 if they have figured out how Mousesports clicks. Now Mousesports' gameplay though is really hard to get a hold of, because they usually work on top of the first frag, and Gobi really likes to just shift players around the map. You could have, or you saw that in the previous round when they had 4 players actually going for the A bomb site at first, and then they went back towards B. Titan tries to just stomp that right away, that default build-up, with Apex and Kenny S going for those first frags. Kenny S just covering Apex, and he was able to put down the bomb, so it's a 3v5 already. The CTs didn't even lose a single point. Well, they lost 1 point of HP on Kenny S. Now Chris J makes Existence lose all his HP that he had left. The B bomb set is open for the terrorists, and they get that last frag on the B defender on RPK. Apex is trying to get something back for the CTs as he's waiting for the flashes. He tries to keep the terrorists from planting the bomb, which is not successful. Next gets himself the frag onto Apex. Now it's a 3v2. Suddenly the CTs have lost the grip on the round. The terrorists are in complete control right now, especially as Speedy picks off Kenny S. Maniac is the last man standing for the Frenchman, and he's the auto scope, and he goes for the no scope headshot onto Chris J. Picks off another one, but Speedy is there from below. He will close him out and make it 10-2 in favor of Mousesports. But what a great retake attempt by Maniac with that no scope auto scope. Just you know, it was risky, but not as risky as Apex's play. You know, it was viable in that situation to go for that kind of cheeky retake, you know, having your teammate flash you into the B bomb site while the terrorists are still busy checking every corner. So Apex tried to get himself into a good position to hold on to the B bomb site and delay that plan, but unluckily for him, he was taken out way too early to get any impact in the round whatsoever. So Mousesports crushed the CT's money situation again, and the Germans up 8 rounds against the Titan squad. So I said it's going to be 16-11 if they win 2 more rounds. My guess is already wrong. Next with a good headshot onto Kenny S in middle. Got B using that flash greatly against Maniac. It's a 3v5. Apex is still standing. He's got the M4A1 and he can do some real good damage with that, at least onto Dennis, who started off. Now he's under some pressure from the terrorists. They smoke him off. They try to keep him at bay, but at the same time, Nex is under trouble from middle. So Apex is able to pick off Got B on the cross to the A platform. He slows that push down quite nicely. Now he has to retreat and play it defensively. He has to have his teammates work on Nex first on A short as he pushes up to the platform. Nex gets one, but Existence with the amazing trade. Speedy with the retrade, and Apex is stepping it up onto the A platform. Makes it a 1v1. Chris J is down to 1 HP, and Apex would clutch it for Titan to win this very important round. Another 4K by Apex, making it 10-3, defusing the bomb even though he doesn't have a defuse kit. It is a lengthy defuse, but he just made it in time, and great team play by Titan. Having Existence push A short together with his teammate and draw the attention away from Apex, who was still lurking around the A bomb site. Great play by Titan, who had Apex waiting in that position. 2 terrorists were actually committed to defending A short, and the 2 CTs over there got the trade. Really well played by Titan to retake that bomb site in an eco round. They made it happen. Even though Apex bought an M4A1 and the armor, it was still more or less an eco round for Titan. Now Mousesports losing that crucial round for the CTs. It's obviously not too crucial for Mousesports, but it was a crucial round for Titan. Now they have the momentum back and they're going for the aggressive play in the B tunnels. RPK picking off Chris J to start it off really well for the terrorists. And Mousesports trying to get some more information. Now they're looking for another frag to equalize the player count, but it's going to be hard. The CTs are falling back currently. Kenny is trying to remove himself from the occasion, and Maniac with that aim onto God B. Just, you know, it looked like in those sniper shooting games that you play in your browser. Next with the headshot onto Apex, drawing it back, keeping his squad alive in this round, which is, as I said, once again, another crucial round for Titan. There are only crucial rounds left for the Frenchmen. If they make it 10-5, I could actually see them get back into this game and maybe even win it against Mousesports. Existence now, good flash work by him. Not slowing down the terrorists too much though, but he's got a teammate to come in and help him out. RPK and Existence working on the B bomb site. Existence picks up those 2 frags, and it's going to be the 4-10. Titan closing that gap back to 6 rounds. And now they have finally demolished the terrorist economy, even though it is the last round of this half, and there is no point in saving anymore for Mousesports. They now only have Tech 9s for almost all of them, except for Speedy, who has the P250. At least they have some grenades, so they could try to get some early frags, which is not going to happen. RPK and Apex just running over the Mousesports squad. Apex running out of bullets, but getting out the M7 the 5-7 just in time against Speedy. 10-5, Titan doing a good job of not allowing Mousesports to set up that strategy. They should have gone for those aggressive playing style a little earlier, in my opinion, but at least they caught the right moment. They had the right moment for Apex to step it up, and now they have a shot at this game. If they win the pistol round, they could easily make it 10-8, and then it's only 2 rounds separating the 2 teams. If Mousesports can't deal with that pressure, it might actually turn out in favor of Titan. So get your heads high if you're a Frenchman right now. 70-30 are the odds on CSGO Lounge, so Titan is favored in this matchup, at least if you ask the community. As I said before, I believe it's more or less a 50-50 game, and I would have put my money on Titan as well with that 16-11 that I already... Well, I don't think it's going to be 16-11 anymore. I'm pretty sure that Mousesports will make it, or get at least to 12 rounds, if not 14. So let's just wait for the teams to ready themselves up, as I can announce my social media. You can follow me on Twitter and on Facebook if you want to catch some action in my official life. You know, I travel to some events with hltv.org. Sometimes I will upload all those pictures. You can scroll through them over there. And if you want to keep up to date with my streams, just make sure to keep an eye out on my Twitter account. I always tweet when I go online. It doesn't matter if it's Daily Motion, Twitch or Hitbox or anything else. So now the terrorists with that B bomb site aggression, they already get that first frag on a long though, as God B and company are still looking for some terrorists. Chris J finally finds himself the refrag onto Maniac. It's a 4v4, but it should favor the terrorists if the CTs hadn't had God B in middle. Existence going for the 360 headshot, but it's not working for him. God B with another hot headshot onto Kenny. Yes, it seems like a stomp for the CTs. They have the bomb in middle, and Apex with 1 frag in the back already. He needs to make it happen for Titan. He already got 2 4Ks in this matchup, or 1 3K and 1 4K, something like that it was. Now Apex with a headshot onto Dennis, opening up that 1v4 situation. And he still has 50 seconds to work with. Mousesports is spread out quite far, so they can't go for those refrags. In my opinion, they should just bunch up. There's no way that Apex could take out 5 or 4 CTs if they all face him together. And finally, Goppy and, I don't know, it was Nex in there helping him out from middle, going for that frag. It was risky play. If Apex had hit that 1 shot onto Goppy, he had gotten himself a good shot at making it a 1v1 even. So good job by Apex, even though he's not able to pull through with it. It's 11-5 in favor of Mousesports to go for the UMP, the P90 and the Scout for Chris J, who's ringing off a few shots but catching more damage than he deals right now. So he backs off and tries to reset his scope on the A bomb site where Goppy already waits for him. The terrorists on the other side with a Tech 9 buy and the P250. They didn't plant the bomb, so there's no point in saving their economy right now. They need to wait at least 1 more round to get real rifles in their hands. The Frenchman starting off on a short right now, pulling back from middle. Goppy is facing them together with Chris J, so the terrorists will run into double cover, and Speedy is close by already. He can easily support his teammates from A long with the UMP, even though he will probably not go for those far range shots, but he would probably just run onto the A platform and try to make his SMG work. Now the terrorists showed themselves on A short already. They tried to make the CTs second guess by just pulling back briefly, but now they are fully committed. Goppy is encircled already. Good job by the terrorists. That get 2 frags actually, making it a 4v3. Now Speedy's down to 3 HP, but Next saves his teammates with the frag onto Kenny as the bomb is planted, however, and Apex has got himself a rifle. So this is going to be a really tense round right now. Next stepping it up with the P90, just holding down Apex, and all the CTs are flushing into the A bomb site. They still don't know where the other terrorist is, and they will check that corner. Next jumps Maniac in the face, while Dennis disposes of RPK with the FAMAS, but very close round and a very good round by Titan to get the bomb plant, even though Mousesports should have been prepared for a push onto the A bomb site by the first few peaks that the CTs got on short. Titan now have the bomb plan. They have gotten themselves some momentum, even though it's not the most cheerful situation that they are in right now. They should at least think positive and think about having planted a bomb, having gotten themselves some frags. If they had armor or rifles, could have been around in favor of Titan and not Mousesports. Chris J just straying away from Apex, feeling the pressure already, down to 39 HP. He lets Next take over with the P90 in middle. And Apex just waiting for Chris J to re-peek that corner. It's not going to happen anytime soon, so he dares to take a deeper peek into middle, while his teammates are opening up on the B tunnels. Next closes out Apex with the P90 headshot, and now the CT's in some trouble over at the B bomb side. RPK with the P250 picking up 2 frags. Next with the P90 picking up another frag in the meantime, but it's once again a 3v3 situation, and this time Mouse has to retake the B bomb site against the planted bomb. Existence with the Deagle and a rifle in the hands of Kenny S. And the CTs running out of nades to flash themselves in. Got B though, picks off RPK. Now Next just uses his 50 bullets as basically a shield to work with. Existence picks him off, but the CTs have successfully retaken the bomb site and are already defusing the bomb. So it's 13-5 in favor of Mousesports against Titan, who drew Envious to an overtime and forced their French rivals to win that one map on this 2 in overtime. So very good performance by Titan against Envious. Now it doesn't seem like they have what it takes to take down Mousesports. Chris J with the AWP, but the same goes for Kenny S, and Kenny S picks off Next on the cross to the B bomb site. Good job for the terrorists. Really important first frag in the first rifle round on the second half in this best of one situation, in this best of one matchup, as Chris J manages to pick off Kenny S. Good timing for him. He just waits for Apex to get the retaliation frag and picks him off as well. 4v3 in favor of the CTs. Now God B is moving forward into A short, trying to get some more frags in favor of his squad, as he could catch RPK off guard. Let's see if God B is doing that. No, actually RPK just fired a few shots off and scared God B away. So Titans still have the chance to single out one player over at the A bomb site or something like that. You know, they still have 50 seconds to work with. They will probably be split right now. So they're taking the bomb into middle. They have RPK covering B tunnels right now, and the rest of the squad will now join him on this B bomb site push. They have Maniac to push through middle with those smokes, and they themselves will wait on the B tunnels. Dennis covers the window. He gets flashed. The CTs know what's going to happen right now. They are not calling for the rotation yet. They still expect Titan to fake in a situation like that. It's 20 seconds on the clock. What are Titan supposed to do? Chris J is supposed to no-scope everybody in the smoke. Dennis is stepping it up on the meantime, and Chris J finishes off Existence with the USP. Quad kill for Chris J. Titan not able to get themselves out on top of this very, very hard 3v5 situation. Mousesports with the 14th round right now. The Germans have a firm grip on this matchup, and Titan are running out of rounds. If they want to make something happen in this matchup, they need to win every single round in the second half right now, right here. There's no way around that. They could take it to overtime against Mousesports if they give away one more round. Next picks off Apex, but Kenny S with the straight retaliation makes it a 4v4 again. Titans stay alive. They traded a Tech 9 for a rifle basically, so good trade for Titan actually. Now they need to work on top of that and make something happen. They're taking it really, really slow, covering each other on on that opening on the A short approach and A long at the same time. RPK with a good headshot onto Gopi, but Speedy trades it on A long onto Maniac. Now Kenny S getting in there, trying to open up for his squad. Chris J and Kenny S with a double kill onto Speedy and Chris J. Now it's a 2v1 in favor of the terrorists. They need to win this round if they want to have a chance in this game. Dennis tags down Kenny S to 54 HP. But the terrorists do a good job of blocking him away. The same goes for Dennis, though, using his incendiary nade to block off Kenny S. And now the terrorist bomb plant is delayed a little bit. Kenny S going for that plant behind the box. And Dennis just goes on and tags him down to 20 HP. Now again, Kenny S is running out of options to plant, and he's running out of time as well. Dennis is eager to take this bomb set against the two Titan players. Existence is taking refuge in pit, while Dennis is still going for those jumping shots. Kenny S just tries to tuck away on those crates, and finally Dennis is backing off from the bomb side. And actually he's not actually backing off, he's just getting in there for some exit frags against the terrorists. He expects them to overextend a little bit and exit through A long, but they will stay in pit right now. Kenny S saving that AWP might actually be the changing point of this game. If he gets himself a free scope, he will happily pick that up. Titan with the 6th round on the board. Mousesports in some economical trouble, but you know, Next really likes the P90, so why not pick that up in that situation like that? FAMAS 4 got B. The rest of the squad is equipped quite nicely for Mousesports, and the terrorists have a P250 for Maniac. So the money on both squads not working too well right now. Titan, though, on the verge of taking the momentum. If they win this round, they could force the CTs on a save, and Chris J forces Apex to watch his teammates trying to make this round go their favor, as they are down to 4 men right now. Existence draws it to 4v4 again, and he backs off, takes refuge behind that smoke, and that is like a scorpion, you know, you use your tail to sting your opponent, and then you try to just crawl away, hide behind something. More or less, for a scorpion it would be a rock. For Existence it was a smoke, but he's not hiding away anymore as Chris J gets himself the frag onto Kenny S. Another one follows straight away. Chris J now finally going down to Maniac, but it's a 2v3 thanks to the Dutch AWP player. Speedy going down to 50 HP, but Existence needs to watch out to not run into a bullet that could be redirected from the walls. Obviously that's not the case in CSGO, but in real life it would be, as Maniac gets himself a really nice double kill on the A bomb site. Now it's a 1v1. Dennis, though, catches him with his turn, and it's going to be the 15-6. Dennis is finally clutching a situation for Mousesports, as he did work quite hard for the 2v1. Titan were able to deny that to him. This 1v1, though, ended in favor of Mousesports, even though Maniac did a very, very good job. I mean, he cleaned up the A bomb site on his own. If Dennis were a little bit slower, Maniac could have gotten a grip on his position and, you know, could have won that round for Titan. Now 26 frags for Next, 23 for Chris J, 18 for Apex, and 13 for Kenny S and Maniac on the scoreboard. And Speedy now with a good lineup to shoot down 2 players, but he only manages to get 1 frag. Existence stays alive at 22 HP, and the terrorists have actually favorably traded a blow. Now Next tries to exchange that favor, get himself another kill onto RPK, making it a 4v3 again. Titan is running out of options. They need another opening frag. And Kenny S takes a bold move, goes to work onto Dennis, and Apex gets a frag onto Next. Now the B bomb site is completely opened up, but Chris J is hanging out in middle already, and he has caught Kenny S off guard. There it is from above. It rains bullets, and one of them is deadly. 2v2 situation in favor, more or less in favor of the CTs. They still have a smoke and 2 flash grenades, and Titan didn't plant the bomb yet, which is going to happen right now. Together they need to hold on to that. They really need to work together. Existence and Apex, the in-game leader and the mad fragger for Titan. Gopi is inching forward. He doesn't see the one terrorist on doors, and he's messing up the UMP spray, resetting it, but still not getting that frag. Apex is able to to get away. While in the meantime, Existence disposed of Chris J. Apex is back on track and gets the kill onto Gobi. Horrible spray by Gobi with the UMP. He should definitely train that, as this could have been the opening frag for the CTs to retake that bomb site against Titan, who were reeling in the situation. Thanks to Apex and Existence, though, they stay alive in this best of 1 and make it 7-15. Now it's going to be a really tense game from this point on. The CTs are now in shambles, or at least their economy is, and they are on a full save, something that we rarely see. Nobody buying anything, and Apex gets himself the first on a long. The terrorists are spread out throughout the whole map. Apex has that opening, so he goes for it, but Maniac catches a bullet to the head. The same goes for Apex, but Maniac is not stopped at all by that. Chris Shea follows in the tracks of his teammate on the A bomb site, and it's a 5v2 in favor of the terrorists. Next, and Dennis in the B bomb site. What are they supposed to do? You know, there's only one option. Go for exit frags, try to pick up a weapon or something like that, make it a little bit costly, or just annoy the terrorists and play with their minds. Right now, Existence is a little bit paranoid while Dennis picks off Maniac. Apex with the refrag. Next is alone, and RPK will just shred him to bits with his AK from close quarters. 8-15 in favor of Mousesports, but that gap gets closer and closer. 7 rounds separating the two teams. Mousesports with another save round. This time it is going to be upgraded pistols with 5.7, P250, CSAT 75 and a scout. So the Titan squad are facing stronger opponents than they did in the round before, but still it needs to be really weird if Mousesports wants to pick up that round, and especially as Kenny gets that first frag onto Next. Another one goes down. Chris J faced off against the AWP of Kenny, and it's not going to happen for Mousesports. 3v5 Titan, the only team, well, only one eco round was won by Titan, or by any of the two teams, and it was Titan, and they got themselves back in the game. Now they are trying to get on a really decent comeback and make this 15-15. This could be a really cool game if they make it happen. Kenny S with his triple now onto Gobi, just holding down those angles, waiting for the CT to go for some information, trying to get a cheeky frag somewhere. And it's, you know, if you've got a scope like Kenny S covering all those angles, his teammates don't need to worry about anything at all. Dennis goes down. 4K for Kenny. Apex fittingly the last man to get the frag, so he gets a piece of the cake as well. 6 rounds to go for Titan to make this go to overtime. Mousesports, well, they took a second to buy that rifle for Chris J. They probably talked about the possibility of dropping it, but there is no money left on the German side. So the Frenchmen are slowly but surely gaining momentum, and now they use that economy to stress out the CTs. 2 auto scopes and AWP board by Titan just to hold on to a middle basically and get themselves the first frag, which didn't quite work out. But now it's Kenny S. You can actually tell that he is like a stone, like a rock rolling down a hill. Slowly but surely he gets faster and faster, and it's harder and harder to control him, and it seems like he's completely out of control right now. At least if you ask Mousesports, there is no way that they can shut him down right now. Picking up that first rank after picking up a quad kill in an anti-eco, but still he had all those angles covered, and he's doing the same job that he did in the previous round, just hanging back. The eagle that watches his teammates, so to speak, circling like a vulture on top of his teammates, looking for any wolves or anything like that approaching the body of Titan, and he will punish anything, any animal that crosses his way. He is the hunter, and he will shut them down. Titan now on the A long. They have 3 players over there, and it's Speedy facing off against him. They already caught him, and they are already forcing him back. And Maniac with the one shot onto Gobi. Apex closed out Speedy. This great performance by Titan now, making it possible for them to breathe some air, to get some momentum. And, well, they will finally plant the bomb after some trouble dropping it over. Kenny S spots himself another target, and he goes to work on that. RPK closes out Next to make it 15-10. Maniac with that one shot while being flashed onto the box on Gobi. What a great shot. Gobi could have covered his teammate Speedy, and together they could have had a crossfire, you know. They had that position, that position and the pit position, and they were basically covering each other up until the point when Maniac just got that frag over there. Good job by him holding it together for Titan. Now the terrorists will keep pressing the CTs on the cross towards the B bomb site, even though they didn't get too many damage or too much damage dealt. Apex with the first frag onto Speedy. Dennis goes down to RPK on the B bomb site. This eco round is probably going Titan's way right now. Apex and Existence will rack up 2 more frags. It's next with the CZ75. He is close by. He just tries to run out like an assassin, determined to take down the president, but there's nobody dying tonight, or at least not in this round, at least on Titan's side. 11-15 now. The Frenchmen are closing the gap to 4 rounds, and Mousesports is desperate to get another round on the CT side. Let's take a look. Well, actually, it's quite hard to get the distribution of rounds on the first half, but I will give you a deeper look in the upcoming rounds. As once again, it is Autoscope Terror down the middle. Still, not too much damage dealt by all those Autoscopes, but at least Titan use all that economy that they can't, you know, they don't need to save anything anymore. If they lose a round, it's over for them. So they use all that economy to stress out the CTs, and Mousesports are really weary right now crossing over to the B bomb site, and Titan could use that later on, maybe in the upcoming round or the round after that, to just get a quick B execution going when their spawns are right. They know that the CTs are probably slow to cross and all that, so they use those rounds to build up an image like a poker player. Kenny definitely has the image of a serial killer right now, going to work against Chris J, making it a 4v5. It seems like Chris J is slowly but surely fading out of this game. The same goes for Gob and basically the whole Mousesports squad, except for Speedy, who finally puts down his foot and makes that terrorist push stop for a second. But it was not early enough. The terrorists put down the C4 and the CTs on the rotation. Kenny is holding down long, and they've got 3 more terrorists to occupy all the different approaches. Good Molotov cocktail by Maniac to keep hold on middle and keep a short clean. Existence on the exit, taken out next. 2v4, 2 CTs remaining. RPK catches Dennis, even though Dennis should have been prepared for that. RPK was quite loud. Dennis was not able to take him down, and Speedy now knows that there's an autoscope in the terrorist spawn, so he just ran towards that and tries to save it right now to get some more weaponry for the CTs, who are most likely, well, they could go for a force buy, but they are not going for that. They are not doing anything stupid like a full committed pistol upgrade or something like that, or dropping weapons for each other. Having 2 rifles to accompany that autoscope could have been beneficial for Mousesports, but they rather want to have a real rifle round to keep Titan at bay. Now 12-15, 3 more rounds. Mousesports with another save, so Titan will most likely make it 15-13, and it's 2 rounds to go for them to make this go to overtime. Apex with a good shot onto Gobi, flying from a shot as Chris J picks off Apex with his back turned towards him. Chris J still under some trouble, and Kenny has him hosed down with that nice angle by the French scope. 4v2 in favor of the terrorists. Maniac with the frag onto Speedy. Next with the CZ75, running out of bullets and running out of life as well. Kenny has picked him up. 15-13. Mousesports now really need to do something about the Titan squad picking up those rounds one after each other. And quite decisive rounds as well for Titan in the, at least, except for this one. And except for this one, they were winning those rounds almost uncontestedly. Good shot now onto next. Finally, those autoscopes pay off. They get the first frag in favor of Titan. Now the B bomb set is down to 1 man only, and Titan is not abusing that like I kind of expected from them. So maybe they want to do the unexpected and win this round by just going for the default once again. As Speedy's holding on to CT spawn, the terrorists are still slowing down. They are still handling the situation as calm as possible. The CTs try to do the same, with 1 man being kind of aggressive. Gobi is far too far away from anyone, so he can't be supported by Chris J from a platform. So he should get back there, get back into pit or something like that. So the terrorists go for the A bombs at execution. They have Apex drop into CT spawn once again. He spotted that. Oh, Speedy with a double kill, even though Apex had him pinned down. 3v4 in favor of the CTs. Chris J and Speedy will get those frags. And the last one in favor of God B, even though Kenny has reached out from the grave and took down one more CT. It's not going to be enough for Titan. They lose this game 16-13. And that was a really, really good comeback by the Frenchmen, even though they didn't really get all the distance covered. It was really nice to see Kenny S and Apex racking up those frags, punishing Mousesports for lackluster play in the last part of this matchup, at least in the second half. So the Germans still need to do something, and well, Titan were, in my opinion, still the favorites in this matchup, especially with their envious performance. So yeah, I don't know what happened to them. Maybe that envious game put a toll on them, and maybe it just made them be exhausted and all that. So congratulations to Mousesports winning another game in the ESL ESEA Pro League, which is not too much for them anymore. I mean, they can't qualify anymore. They could try to get into a relegation or out of the relegation spots. So let's see if the Germans can actually achieve that. I think they are way too far away from anyone, basically. Yeah, well, they got closer to Titan, so they actually could force Titan to go into relegation with a few more wins. So the league is just so close right now. It's amazing. You can take a look. I will post it in the chat. Wow, I lost connection. There we go. So there is the table, and I will go for a small break, and I will be picked up by my girlfriend today, so there is no second game for me. Green. Well, I had to go to the hairdresser at one point in my life, right? So thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure to follow me on Twitter and on Facebook. You can find the links in !social. So if you want to stay up to date with me, you can do that through the social media. If you have any questions, fire away in chat. I will stay around probably 15-20 minutes. I will upload all the VODs, and then I will slowly but surely turn off the stream. So thank you for tuning in, guys. It's been an amazing day once again. Yeah, I will cover more games in the future, so just follow me on Twitter and on Twitch, obviously. So I might give away a few skins, so if you're desperate to get some skins back that you have lost against Titan or on Titan, you could stay around and maybe win 1 or 2 Euro skins.